Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I am thrilled because we have a really talented Bronx filmmaker on with us. So let us say a good evening to Emmitt Thrower, who is a filmmaker with Wabi Sabi Productions. Emmitt, nice to see you again. How are you?
Nice to see you, Gary. I'm doing great.
So just tell me a little bit about you. Now, you are, people may or may not know this, you're a former police officer. Tell me how you went from being a police officer to being a filmmaker with Wabi Sabi Productions.
Okay, once I got injured and retired from the New York City Police Department, I started in theater acting and so forth. And then from there, after years of being in theater, acting and producing theater, I wound up getting another injury, and I wound up, instead of doing theater, going into producing film. That's how I got into film.
And the point of view that you have, and at least what I've understood from your website and also from some of the things I've seen, is you really are an advocate. I mean, the whole idea, or part of the idea, is to do things and produce films and produce stuff that makes change. Right? That's what you're about.
Yes, it started when I formed my Wabi Sabi production company, which was about theater and performance and social issues. And then when I transitioned into film, I had the same goals to do film, but not just do any films, but do films that will possibly have an impact and change some of the social issues that was impacting community and impacting myself.
Forgive me for not knowing, but wabi sabi comes from where? It means something, and I'm sorry
Yeah.
I don't know, but we're curious about it. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, wabi sabi means the art of imperfection. It's a Japanese term, wabi sabi. And because my wife is a Buddhist, when I started my production company and I was trying to come up with a name, she had a book called Wabi Sabi Simple. And I said, "Oh, that's a great name because I feel like I'm imperfect and I do embrace the imperfections in myself and in other people and in the community and society." So I thought it was perfect to represent who I was, what I was, and that's how the company name and Wabi
Bef-
Sabi.
Before we go into some of we're going to show some films and things like that. I'm just curious. So you were a police officer. Did you always have in the back of your mind that you either wanted to be an actor or you wanted to do film, or was this something really like one of those things that you never know what's going to turn out in life, so you kind of changed your life in that way, or was it really always in the background?
It was never in the back of my mind
Wow.
to even be. I was very shy. I hated being on stage. I hated being in front of. I was kind of a behind the scenes and did not really enjoy speaking in front of people, being on stage, or being on TV, or none of that. But what happened is when I retired from the police department, I started doing stand up comedy, which not too many people know about. And from stand up comedy, I had stage fright, which led me to taking acting classes in theater to build up my confidence on stage. And then that led me to begin my acting career on stage and realize that acting was very therapeutic because it really helped me from a mental standpoint.
And listen, I've been on TV for a long time. It helps you kind of become a person, become a personality in a way, or find the personality that's within you. I mean, I know about it because I've been doing this, of course, for a very long time. I want to congratulate you. We read the article in the Bronx Times that said Bronx filmmaker nominated for an Astor Award at the Tribal Film Festival. What was the award, or the nomination, and what was the film that got nominated?
Okay, the Triborough Film Festival is a festival. It's actually a festival really designed to help independent filmmakers get involved and do their work and present their art. I was very interested because it was a New York Film Festival, and my film that was nominated was Dancing with Waves, which was a documentary about this dance and community development group called New Wave Dance, Youth, and Community Development. And so I had a relationship with them and knew about them and had worked with them for over a decade, and I thought it was time to bring their story to life.
Well, we have the trailer from that, and we can show that. So I think what we'll do is let's look at that, and then I want to hear more about the Dancing with Waves and the New Wave Dance Youth and Community Development Incorporated that you support so strongly. So, ladies and gentlemen, here it is, Dancing with Waves.
This is my passion. Someone gave me the opportunity to express myself when I was younger, and I wanted to do the same thing with other kids.
I did it because it's kind of like an escape for me.
Not every child in the very beginning wants to dance. My goal is to introduce them to something different. I don't want them to be like someone else. You have kids that are coming together from all different backgrounds.
I tend to have patience with everybody else, my students, but I'm trying to extend grace to myself. Every time they start crying, they say that they love it every single time I dance.
Do it, 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 get 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 it, Missy in his doing, you ain't never seen. Missy in his doing, you ain't never seen. Get it, 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 get it.
There we go. Congratulations, Emmitt. And so that is a full-length film. We've only seen a section of it there, but tell us a little bit about the larger production.
Okay, the larger production is a short film. It's about 30 minutes long. And I want to give a shout out to the Bronx Council of Arts, who I put in a proposal, was able to get some grant money to help do that production. Now, the film kind of follows the founder, who we call Miss Tammy. And Miss Tammy, who started dance when she was like 6 years old and in the community. And she was impacted so much by that experience that as she developed and got older, she decided she wanted to give back and do the same thing for other young people. Hence the beginning of the New Wave Dance Group and Community Development. Not only do they dance, as you see in the film, they also get involved in the community by giving back. They do turkey giveaways, they do book bag giveaways, they do tea parties. So it's an all-over development for the young people in ways that not just in the dance sense, but in ways that could impact them on their personal skills.
And based on what you had told us just a few moments ago about your interest in advocacy, this really is it. I mean, giving young people opportunities, especially in the Bronx, to express themselves and do their talent and all those kinds of things. So it all comes together, and it makes total sense. Let's talk about the other trailer that we have, Beyond the Limits. What is Beyond the Limits?
Beyond the Limits is my take on the Twilight Zone series. I was a big fan of the Twilight Zone and always wondered how I could create something similar but different. And then one day it just came to me. It's disability. It's the Twilight Zone from a disability perspective. And that's a social issue because of the bias against so many people with disabilities that obviously being a person with a disability myself, it became just an obvious way for me to take my take on disability advocacy and bring that into film with this series, this project, that we are in the process of completing the pilot now.
So let's take a look. It is Beyond the Limits. And take a look.
In a world where communication transcends spoken language, Beyond the Limits explores mysterious realms of the mind through the experiences of disabled characters.
Everybody, I've got a little bit of an announcement to make. I've just gotten an audition for the lead role in the next film, Blind Ambition.
You will be a sighted actor playing a blind man.
So what?
Stop resisting!
Drones are on the way, Commander.
Let's roll! Stop resisting!
All right, there we go. Congratulations. The technology in that is raised up a level. Is that a recent production?
Yeah, we're still in the process. That's the trailer for what we're still working on.
Oh, you're still working on it. Wow.
Which will be the pilot series. Yeah, I wind up partnering with this Hungarian award-winning filmmaker who I met out in Utah at the film festival, and we decided he was into sci-fi, and I'm like, oh great, I can finally do my project because he has that experience in technology. So all the sci-fi and FX and all that stuff, the drones he designed and they created with his film company. So it's been a international collaboration to complete this project and get it done.
Well, it's tremendous. It looks tremendous. We certainly will look forward. Maybe when you get the final product, you can come on back. We've got about a minute left. Just what's next? So you're going to work on that film, work on Beyond the Limits, but anything else, or it's just keep going? I mean,
well,
what's
yeah,
on your mind?
Beyond the Limits is the main focus now because we think it's going to be a series, and once we get the pilot done, we have other episodes to really make this and make the full thing to where is it an episodic? We can do a whole season if we can get funding. And then right now, we're just trying to we're going to be doing a crowdfund in the near future to raise funds to make the film fully accessible, to make a website that's fully accessible for people with disabilities.
Listen, you're doing great work, Emmitt, and that's why we feature you here on the Bronx Buzz. Wabi Sabi Productions, look it up. You can see all kinds of really cool stuff in there. I pulled out a couple of other videos that I really liked, and I just have tremendous respect for what you do and for your passion for what you do and applying your talent to make it happen. So we appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Gary, and thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, we certainly will. Again, keep going. And that will do it, folks, for the Bronx Buzz. We thank Emmitt and our other guests. And you know what we always say, if the curtain don't fall, the creek don't rise. We'll be back next week. Good night.